Hi everyone, so I'm going to show you today how to make an interactive map using CartoDB, which is an online tool which allows you to create maps with your data, such as the one I'm showing you now. Where information pops up and it's quite cool. So I'm going to show you how to recreate this map here, which shows seats predicted to change parties in the 2015 general election. So let's start from the beginning. Where to get data from? So I got this data from the website www.electionforecast.co.uk, which collects data from a variety of sources, including YouGov. For example, if you want to go and look at seat predictions data, scroll down and then click on seat predictions, and then scroll down further and you'll see a list of parties and links to gains and losses. So let's go on to Conservative gains. Great, so you've got a table which has lots of data about which seats Conservatives are predicted to gain. The way we're going to get this data from this page is using a Google extension called Kimono Lab. It's a web scraper that allows you to create an API to scrape web data off a page. So yes, let's do that now. Let's click on Kimono Labs. It should load. The great thing about this tool is it allows you to manually select the properties on the page that you want. So let's do that now. Let's select seat as our first property. Select all the data for seat. All you have to do is click that tick on the second one, and it selects them all. We can do that for all of them. So let's do region and probability. Oh, don't forget to name them. It's very easy to forget. So, okay, that's probability. And then will be from. Great, so that's probably all the data that you probably need for the map we're going to create. There's one thing I'll show you, it's called infinite scroll. It's this icon here. It basically tells your it tells your API when to stop scraping on the page. It's quite useful for when you have a lot of data, so because you can customize when it should stop. But since we don't have that many items, I just keep it at 50. So press done. And then you can name your API, so let's name it SeatGainDataCon. You can add on the free version of Kimono Labs, you can add social tags, but you don't need to. So then just click Create API, and it should create itself. Okay, and you can see it's appeared pretty much straight away. With bigger sets of data, it might take a bit longer. So now we want to download it. We can download it into CSV, which is already selected, and other formats, but we want CSV. So click download, and that should download straight away. Okay, so now we want to upload that data. I'll import that data into a spreadsheet, so either Excel or Google Sheets. We're going to use Google Sheets today because that's my choice. That's my program of choice. So let's do that right now. No, not that option. Apologies. Import. So select file. Or actually, an easier way of doing it is to just drag it in. So we'll do that. Much better. Right, insert into the sheet. And there you go. All the data that you just downloaded has appeared up. There's a few things you can do as you download the data from election forecasts. So I'd recommend, as you can see, what's missing is what party the seats are going to. So I'd recommend really, as you download each one, to add a 2 column. So you can just add 2, Conservative, and then and then drag it all the way down so it fits in all the columns. Goes in all the columns. There's other things you can do. So for example, you can see that Liberal Democrat is LD in this data, which you might want the full name. And there's a very easy way of correcting this. The find and replace function. So you can say I want to find the value LD and replace it with Liberal Democrats, and find and then replace all, and you can see right there that it's replaced all the Liberal Democrat, all the LDs with Liberal Democrat. And you can do that with Labour as well, and any other parties which have the abbreviated form. The other thing I recommend doing with this data is that in CartoDB we'll need the probability to come up as numbers rather than percentages, and you might want to get rid of the percentage mark because we need it in a number format for in order to differentiate between constituency. So you can do that with find and replace as well. So you can find, replace with, or find percentage and replace with nothing, and it comes up like that. And you can, and you'll be able to label it as percentage later, so don't worry about that. I'd do that with every party, and eventually you'll have a massive data set. I'll just do the one, we'll use the one that I did earlier. As you can see from, when I did this, I downloaded all the data, as I wasn't sure what data I'd be using in my map at this point, but you can do that if you want. And then, one other thing that I've done, which I'd recommend doing, because it will save you a lot of time, is to add a column, such as this one called filter view. It doesn't have to be filter, it just needs to be a column where every value is the same. I promise you, because I'll explain later why this is important, but just for now, just put in a column with all the values, all the same. Right, so we're pretty much, what we need now is one more set of data before we can go to CartoDB, and that's geographical data, so that CartoDB knows where to put, where on the map all the seats are. So there are various places you can find this data, and one of them is ONS GeoPortal, which has boundaries, boundaries data in shapefile format. So I'm on the page right now. It's the download products page. So you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you'll see Westminster parliamentary constituencies. So let's click on the most recent one. It should download, and once you download your original data, so we can download that as a CSV. And now we're ready to go onto CartoDB. So let's go back to, so we're in this view. You need to go into table view, and so this is the screen you'll see when you need to upload a new table. So you click this icon here, and you can select file, and one moment. So let's upload the seat data first. Cool. So that's downloaded pretty quickly. Uploaded pretty quickly. And it's all there. You can see probability is number, and that's what you want. If you have left the percentages in, you might want to go back and go in and check that. And then we need to upload the second one. Yeah, so we're uploading our geographical data now, all the shapefiles. This might take a bit of time because shapefiles are absolutely massive. Some of them can be anyway. And with some websites, you might find that the shapefiles are too big. For example, census. There's a website. There's a website you can download census data based on the census, and their files are absolutely huge and will take up all your space in your free account. So I'd recommend going to ONS. Okay, brilliant. So now you've got both of your tables have been uploaded into CartoDB. So now we need to merge them. So both tables are together in one data set. So the way you can do that is very easy. You go onto the edit icon and you click merge with table. You've got two options. You can do column join, where you join tables based on you join two tables based on one column with a shared value, or spatial join, which measures the number of intersecting records between two tables. The one we want is column join. Yeah, and then we've got to select our second table, which is this one. No, which no, it's this one. And yeah, so we've got lots of options here. The blue buttons are data that you want in your table, and the black buttons are for you. Here is where you select which column you want to merge, and we want to merge name. So click name, and we want to merge seat. Okay, so let's click merge tables. Let's give it a good name. So seat gain data. We should have a merged data set, and the first thing you'll notice straight away is that there are a lot of columns with null values, and this is because obviously our original data doesn't have all the constituents in it, while the geographical data does. What we want is a way of getting just the constituencies in our original seat data. So this is where the filter column that I told you about comes in. So let's click filter, and then you can scroll down to filter view, and what will come up is two options, and you can deselect all the columns that have null value in the filter column. And as you can see, you're just left, if you click create table from query, you're just left with a data set that has the geographical data and your seeking data. So merge final. So let's create our table. We just have all the constituencies that you want in your map. Brilliant. Okay, so as you can see in CartoDB, there's data view, which we're looking at now, and there's map view. So now is the stage where you can go on to map view. So let's do that. Let's go on to map view. Yeah, as you can see, all the constituencies that you're including in your story are there. And that is great. So the story in this data is obviously showing which seats are more likely to change, and you want to differentiate between seats that are more likely to change and ones that are less likely to change. And one way you can do that, the way that you can do that is through the wizards tool, and this controls basically what your visualization is going to look like. So here we've got a variety of options. We've got simple, which you can see here. It's just orange, and you can change the colour. You've got choropath, categories, which if you have like lots of different things you want to show, and then you've got bubbles, which kind of, if you've got, you can use that if you want to show frequency, or for example, if you're looking at tweets and you want to show places where there have been lots of tweets, you could use this. But the one we're going to use is choropath, because that allows us, you see it's already done that, to differentiate in between constituencies. So first of all, you need to make sure you're selecting the right column to compare, and we don't want Liberal Democrats, or you know, depending on what you're comparing, you might want to compare which seats, or you want to look at what seats Liberal Democrats are more likely to take. But we're going to look at just simple probability. So you can also change how many buckets there are. So this is looking how many different colours are going to be on your map. You can do 3, 5, 7, and I think we're going to go with 5. Then you've got a variety of other options, which you can have a playground if you want. You can change the colour, so you can change to pink if you want. If that's your cup of tea. But let's stick with the red, because yeah, I think that's better. Yeah. So yeah. Another thing you might want to do, as you can see, it's not really labelled at the moment. With this box down here, you can't really tell what you're trying to tell, what the story you're trying to tell with this map. So you might want to label that box, and the way you can do that is through legends. So we click on legends, and you can see this controls the design. It gives you more control of the design. You can so you can change the title. So let's change that to likelihood of changing, and then this is where you can add the percentage that we had to cut, the percentage symbol that we had to cut out before. There we go. Then you can change the value at the bottom of the scale and the value at the top of the scale, and you can change the colours as well. So we'll probably leave that now. I think that looks fine to me. There are other things you can do to change the way that a user explores your story. So we can add little information boxes, which, you know, when a user clicks or hovers over different constituencies, you might want information to pop up. So first of all, we're going to look at what we're going to change what happens when a user clicks on a constituency. So if you go down and go and click, and you'll see a variety of options that are currently greyed out. Ones we probably want will be from, to, and probability, and seat, I reckon. That's probably all we need. So let's just check that works. Yeah, there we go. So now this is telling us that the seat Inverness, Nairn, Badenoch, and Strathspey, there's a 99% probability that the seat will go from Liberal Democrats to SNP. You can switch around the order of this if you go into the HTML view, which is there, which isn't as scary as it sounds, I promise. You can just cut and paste bits and rearrange the order. So we'll do that now. So for example, if we want the seat at the top, so we just cut that, and then we can add it in there, and then you press apply and just check that works. Yeah, so now we have seat Ross, Skye and Lochaber, which is predicted to go from Liberal Democrats to SNP with a probability of 91%.
Yes.
Yeah, you can also do the same with hover. So yeah, so let's do, maybe you want slightly less data included, so maybe region, oh no, not region, maybe you want seat and maybe probability, maybe that's all you want. And you can go into the HTML and swap it over if you want as well. So we'll do that quickly. Okay. That should have worked. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Because if we just, yeah. So you can see as you move your mouse over it, Ross, Sky, and Lockerbell come up with probability of changing of 91%. Brilliant. So I'm just going to show you a couple of other things before I show you how to embed it into your website. So one thing we can do is change the base map. So that's what the map looks like, and we can do that with yeah, you can see you've got a variety of options that you can choose. So I think that's the one we've got. So you can make it really dark and kind of nighttime view, or you can make it look like daytime, or even like it's been painted. But I don't know, you might not necessarily want that. It might look a bit cartoony. So we shall just go with this one. So it looks fine for now. Other things you can do, you'll have to do once you visualize it. So we'll visualize our map. So name it seats like change 2015 election. Create visualization. Here we go. And as you see, you've been given some more options. So we've got add element, preview map, so you can preview that in desktop or mobile, which is quite cool, or you can just export the entire thing. So let's add an element. I'll show you what things you can add. You can add, for example, a title. So and so this box comes up, and you can change lots of things. You can change the text, the text size, the colour, font, where it's positioned, the colour of the box. You can change the transparency of the box. You can make it really transparent or not so transparent. You can change the size of the box here, and there's some other options here you can look at if you want. I'm not sure what's happening to the transparency there, it's gone a bit mad. Anyway, so you can do that. And yeah, you can play around through the options if you want. There's a few options down here about about what you can include. So fixed title, fixed description, the scroll wheel zoom, so we can include that if you want, and a layer selected. If you have more than one layer on your maps, more than one layer of data, you can select that, but we don't, so we don't need that. And and share options, and the search box so people can search for the area. Right, if you're ready to share your map, which I think we are at this stage, you can click share button up there, and you can either share it in a link, you can embed it, or you can add it to your applications. But we're gonna embed it. So copy and paste that code there. We'll just copy your code there, not paste it yet. So click close, and we're going to go into the post that I've been working on for this tutorial. So as you can see, I'm currently in text view, and this is if you have a WordPress blog, you need to go into that, or if you have a Blogger blog, go into HTML view or any other blogging service you might use. So you just copy and paste the code in there. Let's check it. Yeah, it seems to have gone in alright, but you can double check, and I'd always recommend doing this before you hit the dreaded publish button, is to preview your post, because, as I think you'll probably see once it comes up in a minute, any minute now, there we go. Yeah, you'll notice things that you probably might want to change, such as the fact that the visible layers option is still there, and the title is just way too big and covers most of the data you want to show. So you might then want to go back to your CartoDB map and change those things. All right, I think this brings us to the end of our tutorial. I think if you've got any questions or anything you want to ask, or anything you think I might have missed out, comment on this either on this post or tweet us at @Intactive on Twitter. All right, thanks everyone.